as we enter into a new era of leadership, empowerment, and influence. In this season 2 of Transcend with M, we want to highlight the power that lies underneath us, underneath you. On this new season, we will showcase true stories about women who, one way or another, are exercising influence by tapping on their strength and their own story. I hope, just like me, that you let all these women and their stories empower you today and shape your tomorrow, just like they have helped me. So welcome to Season 2 of Transcend with M. Know her story. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Transcend with M. And with us today is Grandmaster Karen Brown from Hanmi Taekwondo in Worcester. And it is my honor to have her here with us. Welcome, Master Brown.
Thank you so much. I'm honored as well. Thank you.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about your story, your successes, your life as, a mom, a business owner, an influencer in so many kids' lives here in the area of Worcester and nationwide too. So take us through your journey. What's your story?
So my story. All right, well, I'm going to start from the beginning. So my childhood was a little not so ideal, As a baby, I was pretty much abandoned by my mother. My parents separated and she just left. So I went to live with my grandparents on my father's side. They are great people, wonderful. I love, my grandmother, grandfather. My father, he's an alcoholic. So he was very emotionally, mentally abusive, basically. So I had a real rough start in life. I spent a lot of my childhood avoiding him.
Mhm.
I remember just anything to avoid him, so I would just sit outside when he came home and wait for him to go to bed and listen to hear that it was quiet so that I could go into the house, because there was always arguing and things going on with my grandparents, and it went on like that, on the other side, though, I was a very confident kid with all my friends. I was very much the leader of the group. The kids followed me everywhere. I created my own club. They paid dues. We had events. It's kind of similar to my life right now, right? So I was doing that since forever. Okay. So that went on. It was like that. And once I turned 12, things changed. My grandfather passed away, and he was a huge part of my life. He was the person that really took an interest in my schooling, which no one else ever did. He was the only one. And when he was gone, that kind of just went to the wayside at home. So he passed away, and my father moved, which was a turning point in my life. He moved away, so there was no more hiding. It was just me and my grandmother. And I really didn't have any structure. I live with grandma. She pretty much caters to my every need, everything. I could do no wrong, and there was no emphasis on school. But at 12, I also started taking Taekwondo. And I started taking Taekwondo because my cousin, who I spent all my time with, he's 5 years younger than me. He's like my little brother. I took him everywhere with me. I took him under my wing all the time. And he was getting bullied at school, and physically, emotionally being bullied. And they wanted him to, learn martial arts so he could defend himself. And he wouldn't go by himself, of course. So they asked me to go, and I was out of this world. I couldn't believe it. I'm going to get a chance to go learn, karate, right? That's what everyone called it, karate then. But I was so excited. So we went to our first class, and that was it. I was in love after the first lesson. I was all about sports anyway. I played everything as a kid. And once I got into Taekwondo, it was every day, 5 days a week. I was going, and with my cousin too, and he did it as well. And it kind of turned my life around and gave me a different view on things. Um, as time went by, training in Taekwondo uh, and doing other sports as well, it started to conflict. Once I got to high school, it started to conflict. I couldn't play the other sports if I was doing Taekwondo. The time didn't work, and I had to make choices. And it was pretty easy for me. I chose Taekwondo because it gave me what the other sports didn't give me. It gave me structure. It gave me a direction. It held me accountable. Um, just a whole new way of thinking, you know? So I continued Taekwondo, and I became a really big competitor. I love competition. I love sports. So that was huge for me. Traveling around the United States and Canada, competing, and it was fun. Lots of fun. Lots of great memories. It's not the winning and the losing, as I tell my students now. It's not the winning and the losing. It's the experiences that you have there with your friends, other people you meet. You're all enjoying the same thing, So I had a lot of good times doing that. And then as I got a little older, I started teaching. So I started helping out at the studio, and I started teaching. And once, I wasn't really sure that I was, really going to like teaching until I had my own students. I went to a summer camp. My instructor said, "Oh, I was 17. And he said, "Can you just go to this summer camp and you just, take control of this, and you're going to do it for 6 weeks. And at the end of 6 weeks, you're going to do a demonstration." And I was like, wow, I'm going to have all these kids by myself, right? 25 kids alone. I'm going to teach them. I'm going to do demo. It was the time of my life. All right. I fell in love with it. When we did that demonstration, I couldn't have been more proud. It was bigger than winning nationals. It was bigger than anything I've ever felt. And I found my calling. I found that I could impact people, which I've always wanted to do, which I've been doing my whole life. Like, I'm a motivator. That's what I am. That's who I am. And Taekwondo gave me that. It's like my vessel, to be able to do that. It allows me to reach people and help them grow. And I get emotional when I think about that.
I'm almost
I love
crying.
it. I know. I get so emotional about it because I love it. It's what I do. It's the most important thing to me. It really is. It's the most important thing to me. Just touching people and making them happy and just watching them grow. There's nothing better for me. So I started teaching and I fell in love with it. And when I moved out here, so I'm from Michigan originally. I didn't say that, but I'm from a small town in Michigan, very small. And I moved actually first to New York and then here. And I started teaching at the Y here. I had Justin, so my first son, right? I have 4. Yeah. So Master Justin was actually born in, I say master, all my kids are black belts, and 3 masters, 1 third degree, which is Jordan, the littlest one, a youngest one. So I had Justin, and when we moved over here, I started teaching at the Y. And Justin went with me every day. Of course, my children were with me the entire time through everything. They were always there. And he was there at the Y with me. And when he was little, when I first started, we moved here when he was just 2.5. At 3 years old, I was teaching, at the Y, and I would bring him to the Y with me, and he would go downstairs, take swim lessons, right? And I would be upstairs teaching Taekwondo. And after the class, I would go get him. And I remember one day, he was taking swimming just for the shortest time. And just as a mom moment, right? Because I have many mom moments, mom, right? Mom. So I came down to get him, and he was swimming. My heart, well, oh my goodness, he can swim, he's swimming around. It's like, woo, this, pride. I was like peacocking around all over the place. My son, he's 3, he can swim. He's all this, all that, right? So yeah, so it went like that until he was maybe 4, and he started 3.5, 4. He started coming into the classroom with me too. So he's doing swimming. I was teaching more Taekwondo. He was
Yeah.
also taking Taekwondo with all the 7 and 8 year olds. Pretty much the story for all my kids. They started at 3, and everyone was always older, but they're in there. They're doing
Yeah.
their thing. You know. So yeah, I taught at the Y for like 7 years at least.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a lot of students, maybe over 100, and it was good. But I had like 3 jobs. I'm a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm caring for four kids
Yeah.
with during that time. I have 4 children, and it was difficult,
Mm-hmm.
but I just loved, Taekwondo, and the why kind of pushed me. When one door closes, another door opens, right? You hear
Mm-hmm.
that all the time. It's so
Yeah.
true. And it's all about how your mindset, where you take it. Everything is about where you take things, right? So when that door closed and we had a little misunderstanding at the Y, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to open my own school. Why not? Right? Why
Yeah.
not? That's me. I'm always like, I'll try anything, once or twice. I mean, I will try.
Yeah.
So um, I opened my school with just enough money to pay first and last month's rent. And that was pretty much it. I didn't have much else. We did all the inside, by ourselves. I didn't have any mats. We were training on carpeting, but I had some of the students from the Y, they followed me just enough to pay my rent, which was
Mm-hmm.
huge, and allowed
Yeah.
me to do what I loved. It
Yeah.
allowed me to have my space. And I wore a lot of hats. As moms, we all wear a lot of hats, and especially if
Mm-hmm.
we're entrepreneurs or business owners, I
Yeah.
mean, just keep throwing the hats on. You're the cleaner, you're the receptionist, you're the master, you're the mom, your kids are there with you.
Yeah.
You're just trying to juggle, juggle, juggle. Should be in the circus, juggling, juggling, right? So I did, and it was one of the best things I've ever done. Besides, of course, my children, are the most important thing that I've ever done in my life is have my children and, be part of their lives, which I still am very much part of their lives. And I'm very proud of that
Yeah.
and grateful. So anyway, they were there with me throughout the whole thing. They grew up in Taekwondo,
Mm-hmm.
and I I struggled. I really struggled. If you think about, being a woman
Mm-hmm.
and having your own business is already difficult,
Yeah.
right? When
Yes,
you think about being a woman in a business where there are no women,
yeah.
you know,
That's
it's
true.
only men,
That's
and
true.
you are looked on like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
That's the kind of reaction I always got. And it was very, very hard to get people to believe that I
Mm-hmm.
had skill, I had the ability to
Yeah.
teach and command the class, and just, it was a really rocky, rocky start. I would say for at least 10 years, I
Wow.
struggled. I really, really struggled. And there were times where, and I had other jobs too. It wasn't like I only had the studio. I had to have other jobs. I couldn't make ends meet with just the studio,
Right.
so, but I thought about, well, I need to get a real job. I thought about that, but I couldn't because of my students. And if I only had 25 students or 40 students, it didn't matter. Those students were so important to me. I couldn't
Mhm.
do it. I have to keep pushing forward, you know? Um, so I did. I kept pushing forward, and the kids started to grow up in the school, and they started helping, teaching, assisting, because I never had anyone else. It was always just me,
Yeah.
right? And now I have people, my
Yeah.
family, the most important people in the world to me, just spreading the same, learning the same things,
Yeah.
and spreading the same message that
Mhm.
I've been spreading, and just becoming incredible leaders, and also motivators. And it was very uplifting. And when those wheels started turning, I was introduced to the idea of having an after school program,
Yeah.
right? So you know about my after school program,
Yes,
right?
it is a
So yeah,
lifesaver.
yes. So yeah, so I said, well, how am I going to do this? It's going to be a lot of juggling. I've got my own kids to get back and forth, all of these things, right? It doesn't matter. I'm doing it. I'm going to try it. So I went out, bought one van, and my Mike, he helped me. I didn't have money. I didn't have a lot of money, I never did.
Yeah.
And, but I had a lot of joy. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I know a lot of people talk about money making everything, right?
Yeah.
It's so not.
Hmm.
That's my way of thinking. That's how I feel. Is there anything wrong with money? No. Do I like money? Sure. Who doesn't, right?
Exactly.
But
You gotta
my
you
life
gotta
doesn't
eat.
revolve around. Yes, yes, you definitely have to eat, but my life doesn't revolve around making money,
Yeah.
you know? But so anyway, get back to the after school. So I bought the van. We got the van, and Jen and I, my daughter Jen, and I drove to the schools. There was like 2 or 3 schools we started picking up from at first. And my son Justin was at the studio. So when we would come back, he was there already with my other kids.
Yeah.
Okay. And we would come in and bring the after school kids and do a little. It was just, to me, it was easy because I was just being mom to more kids and
Yeah.
teaching them Taekwondo, which is fine, right? So I think at that point in time is when I really started to realize my power as a woman,
Hmm.
you know? I always felt like I was powerful and confident and all of these things, but I never realized my power as a woman in this uh, environment, like in the martial arts world, that now I believe I have more power.
Hmm.
I have something that all of these other schools don't have. Me.
Yeah.
And it was me. And it's my attitude. And it's my mothering. And it's my, empathy and just love and caring that they didn't really have. They teach Taekwondo, they teach kicking and punching and, all those things. Me too. But I think I do it on a different level. And that was something that I thought that I brought forward that other people didn't have.
I think the commitment to the kids. I'm gonna cry.
Don't get me going too, because I could go there as well, you know?
I think it's as Veronica started there when she was 4.
Mhm.
And as you know, we have had a couple of situations where we have had to be like, let's do the Master Brown talk, right?
Mhm.
And it's all about the discipline and growing. And, it's that, like, I think us parents see you as the grandma that it's needed not to like, like, spoil them, but to actually keep them reeled in the right direction, right? So it's like
Yes.
every time something goes off at home, we're like, we're gonna call Master Brown. You want to talk to Master Brown? And I think becoming that figure of um, just overall integrity, right, for the household, it's it's the difference, I think.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, to me, the kids are extended family. We're all family. We say Hanmi Taekwondo family all the time because
Yeah.
that's the way I view it. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And my kids view it that way. We are family, and everyone that comes in is
Yeah.
family. So we treat them with respect.
Right.
We care, you know, love. Um, no one is just like a number. Everyone is
Mm-hmm.
important,
Yep.
you know. So yeah, you get me going too. Every time I think about the kids and stuff. And the impact that we have. Sometimes we don't realize it. To be honest, we're
Yeah.
just being ourselves, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And then when someone brings it to our attention, like you just bringing it to my attention, it the feeling is, it's emotional.
It is.
Yeah, it's emotional. Right? It's emotional. I know we feel it too, and we're just like, wow. A lot of the times we're just blown away by it too, like, wow,
Yeah.
just love what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just love what we're doing. Yeah. So when I started the after school, it turned, everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changed in a way that, you know, my school was making money, right? And I was kind of finding my niche in this whole, like, the martial arts world, really.
Yeah.
And it gave me the opportunity to grow
Mm-hmm.
and to reach more people, because that's the goal for me,
Yeah.
is to reach as many people as I can reach.
Mm-hmm.
So having that opportunity and having the means to be able to do that was very important. And I didn't know the importance until I started to be able to reach more. And then I realized this is allowing me to reach more. And knowing that it just kept growing bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
and it was very rewarding, that too, knowing that I'm able to do this, and it's opening more doors for me, having the after school, and being able to go into the schools, offering bully prevention,
Yeah.
just being able to offer more things to the community, more things to the kids, more things to the schools, parents. That's just like what we're all about, just wanting to reach more people. And yeah, finding that niche in myself, that place for me, just gave me a lot more confidence. Actually, I have confidence, but in that area, I was like, am I going to be able to make this work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to just tell people too, other women, like I said, we're all juggling.
Yeah.
But if you have something you really love, like you love what you're doing right now, right? Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you're making $1 million, right?
This is free, people. Nobody pays for this.
See, because you're doing it because you love it, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
important, right?
It is. It
So
is
I
important.
always, yeah, so I tell everyone, you know, if you love what you do,
Mm-hmm.
you can make it work. And
Yeah.
when you put everything into it and you immerse yourself in it, like for me, I'm lucky. It allows me to make a living, keep
Mm-hmm.
growing, actually have my kids working for me, pay them a good wage,
Yeah.
that they have a good life, and we have a great life actually because of what we do. I mean, it's just never ending um, gifts, like
Yeah.
gifts every day.
Mhm.
And it's
I
always
think
new.
I think also, thinking about what you said earlier, that you just wanted to help in and just help more children and more children. I think it's not just the children. Like, I remember about 4 years ago, I called the studio out of desperation because I lost daycare.
Mhm.
I had no help with Veronica. Like, I didn't have anybody to pick her up after school. And I remember calling in, and Master Shay answered the phone, and she's like, "Don't worry, Mom. Even if we don't have a spot, we'll pick her up and we'll take care of her." And that was 4 years ago. So Veronica's been on the after school program for 4 years.
Mhm.
And I'm like, if they ever take away the school program, I don't know what I will do, because this is like, this is my life-saving moment. And I think for us moms, it is such a breath of fresh air knowing that our kids are with people that we can trust
Mhm.
100%, right?
Yeah.
Because we know that you care, we know that they're getting an education, we know that it's not just, punching, kicking, and screaming. it's
Right.
it's It's actually discipline. It's actually learning how to be good neighbors, good friends, respect your parents, respect the adults. So the education that it's being provided, I think it's the legacy that you wanted to give, because I think, from the bottom of the heart of just wanting to help, I think there is a lot of little trees and flowers that are growing, in that regard. And I think, on our community, which is so diverse, is also being an empowering aspect to have, especially when everybody needs to be involved, right? It's not like you just go drop off your kid and forget about it. You need to be involved. And I think having that figure, which is you as a woman of such a strong character, right? I think it keeps us all in check.
Woo, that's awesome. Wow. I didn't know.
Like,
you know,
can slip because Master Brown will know.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. When the parents tell me that, sometimes, I've heard so many things. When I first started the school and I had my kids there, they were little. Picture it, we got Justin, Jen, Kev, George, right? They're all in their uniforms, over there. They're all around the studio. They're taking class or doing their homework there, whatever, right? And parents used to come in and say, how do you do this with your kids here with you every day? And my answer was always, I wouldn't want them to be anywhere else. I feel so lucky that I can have them here with me every day, and then time goes by, right? My kids, teenagers now, right? It's Saturday morning. Parents come in. How do you get your kids here to come here on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and be all happy? And I said, this is what we do. This is what we do. And I'm so lucky. And time goes by again. Now they're all adults, right? They graduated college. They were still there the entire time after school. They're always there no matter what, right? So they say to me, wow, what is it like? Your kids are with you every day. I said, best thing in the world. Best thing in the world.
I think when we started, Master Jordan was still on high school.
Wow.
And then she graduated college like a year or two ago, and we're still here. So it's pretty amazing how to see all the kids grow too. Like you become part of their lives. Like we have developed friendships in there with certain parents, and we have seen, like, I remember seeing Olivia very little, and now she's in high school. She's grown up, and she's become this amazing black belt, like, strong girl. So I think it's just been a great experience, and I am glad that you took that leap and believed in yourself. So from a success standpoint, Master Brown has been in magazines, and she's been, nationwide. You did mention that it gave you the confidence to be in a world of men, right? So how it's been to kind of break that barrier and become this figure of empowerment for more women that maybe were discouraged to follow those steps, and now maybe they are thinking about it again.
Well, so just to backtrack a little bit, when I first started doing this and opened my school, and at that point, I had a lot of students that want to compete, including my own children. So we went to a lot of tournaments, and the way I was treated, I don't know if I could have been just like dirt on the bottom of someone's shoe or gum they're trying to get off. You know what I mean? It was that kind of thing where it's so different now, I have my own tournament, right?
Mhm.
So like it just night and day. But when I first started, the way I was treated was just outrageous.
Mhm.
All the masters were sitting up at the head table. I was never acknowledged for anything. Although my students were winning all the gold medals, I'm
Yeah.
still not acknowledged. They're just looking at me like, what are you doing here?
Uh-huh.
It went on for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Still today, I get that. I still get it. But I sit at the head table and I have my own tournament and I invite the people that I like. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? To my
Mhm.
tournament that I know that are good leaders,
Yeah.
have the same mindset that I have or
Mhm.
similar, so that their
Yeah.
students are brought up in a way that they're courteous. They can be competitive, but they're good competitors.
Yeah.
It's all about helping each other and just bettering ourselves, right? So, yeah, so going through all of those things and making my way up from the bleachers to the front table,
Mhm.
and it was a road, it was a process, but I always believed in what I can do. It
Mhm.
didn't matter what they thought of me. I was happy sitting in the bleachers with my students. I figured that's where I belong anyway. These are the
Yeah.
people I love and I care about. I'm going to be here
Yeah.
for them. So not sitting up there didn't really bother me so much. I
Yeah.
think it bothers other people. It bothers my daughter. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much. It bothers Master Che. Okay. She doesn't like that stuff. All right. She's much more like, me and myself, I'm confident in myself. So
Yeah.
I feel like the thing is to just be confident in what you do, confident in your
Mhm.
story,
Yeah.
your abilities. No matter what's going on around you, you can always hold on to that. And if you hold
Yeah.
on to that and put everything into that, it's going to go forward. It's going to go forward. You're going to find those people that follow you because you're you, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has, they're going to have people that follow them or want to be with them, or people that love my school. Why? They get in there and they see it and they love it. you
Mhm.
know so just continue to like nourish what you've got and continue to grow yourself, and just be confident in what you
Mhm.
have personally, because you've got something no one else has. You've got
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
right? So that would
That's
be
right.
what I would say. And it will, if you do what you love and you put everything into it, and it becomes, your focus, the money's going to come. That's what I think. I tell my kids all the time, don't worry. Or my cousin, he's doing photography. I said, look, stop thinking about the money. Think about being the best photographer.
Yeah.
Think about how you can be the best, give the best experience. People will come, the money will come, and everything will fall into place. That's
Right.
what I think. That's what I believe.
Amazing. Amazing. So tell me a little bit about as a mom, right?
Mhm.
And tell me a little bit about your relationship with your children and how they've been able to follow into your steps, and how does that fulfill you as, not just a leader and motivator, but as a mom as well.
I couldn't be more like proud or grateful for what I have, like the relationship I have with my kids. And I actually give a lot of credit to Taekwondo, because all of the philosophies and the practices that we use there, they're meant to be part of your life. They're meant to go home with you, to school with you, to work with you, whatever. And that's what I did. I just took those things from Taekwondo and I brought them home, and they became part of our life. So the respect and the discipline and the strength, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? The confidence and all of that. Yeah, my kids all have that, you know? And it's because it's not just because they do Taekwondo. It's because I brought it home, you
Mhm.
know? And I tried to be that example for them
Right.
of strength, be driven. I'm very
Mhm.
driven. I just cannot stop driving. I keep driven. It never ends. Like, what's next? What's next? That's me. There's no stopping, you know? So, yeah, sometimes I think I make them crazy because I'm like nonstop. But I cherish our relationship. I'm ecstatic about the fact that my kids love to spend time with me. It's not just about in the school. It's not about work. They call me all the time. What are you doing? You want to have coffee? You want to go here? You want to go there? Let's go to the movies. We're doing vacation together. We got everything that they do. They include me basically,
Yeah.
no matter what it is. And I just feel like I'm walking on clouds because of that. I love that. I'm very fortunate.
That's
I'm very, very
amazing.
fortunate.
That's amazing. What message of empowerment would you give to any woman, any girl, um, any kid listening today?
Similar to what I said before, just be confident in your own skin. Learn to love yourself and what you have to offer. And if that means, sometimes that means maybe you need to, and I did this with my leadership team, write down the things, the times in your life when you felt like you're on it. You're the
Mhm.
one, you know, you are proud of
Yeah.
something you did, an experience you were involved in, something you did for someone else that made you feel that. Write it all down. In the
Mhm.
morning, look at it to remind yourself how great you are, you
Mhm.
know? And everyone can do that,
Yeah.
right? Because we've all done great things. We all have great things to offer. You just sometimes you need to be reminded
Right.
yourself that you have those things. And then go from there to make more. Add to that list, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the point,
Makes
you know?
make do what makes you happy and what you know
Mhm.
it's gonna have return in the world, right? Like that. I
Yes.
always tell Veronica that you need to do good for others, even if it's nothing happening to you right now, because that comes back to you and that's your legacy in the world, right? You want to be able to be a person that gives to the world, not that takes from the world, right? So
Right.
I think that's pretty powerful. I cannot thank you enough, Master Brown, from being here today. I didn't know a lot of things that you said today. So I think I am over emotional today just because it hits home so close. But I have 5 rapid questions for you.
Oh
Is
boy.
Are you ready?
I think
All right. So what does transcending means in your dictionary, in your book?
means growing. To me, it's growing, becoming better, turning into the thing you want to be, the person you want to be, or doing the thing that you want to do. Yeah, moving forward,
Awesome.
basically.
Awesome. What do you like to read? Do you have a favorite book?
So I read some like coaching books and things like that, but I do love Steve Harvey's book. His books I do enjoy because I like Steve Harvey. You know, we were on Family Feud, and I just after that
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to get his books. I've got to read those things. You know what I mean? So I'm getting really into it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I like his like the way he delivers his messages sometimes. Yeah, so I enjoy his book,
He's funny too.
and he's funny, and I like funny. You know me, I'm joking around. I like funny. I think that's why the kids like me too. You know,
Yeah.
so.
All right. How about food?
Food. I love wow, food. I'm trying to be healthy, but I love Korean food.
Yeah.
I have to say I love spicy food.
Okay.
Anything spicy, I'm sold. I like
Okay.
spicy food. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. How about um music? Do you like anything? What makes you move?
Wow. Top 40? I don't know. Top 40?
Anything with a beat.
Anything with a beat, basically, yeah. But I love like Latin music. I love it. Like really love because it always makes me feel like I want to dance. I love to dance,
Okay.
and Yeah, I like to move around. I'm not a very good dancer. I do to my
Yeah.
own beat or whatever beat's on exactly. But yeah, I like Latin music, and I do like Van Morrison. When I'm like, it's calming for me, and I like that. Sometimes I need to calm it down. When I'm not
Yeah.
dancing and I calm down, I put on Van Morrison, and I need to relax.
That's nice. And last but not least, um, well, yeah, last but not least, any woman or favorite woman influencer, a woman that had a big impact in your life, or that you follow, that you like, yeah, you just follow for motivation.
Well, I'm just going to say my kids, my daughters, um, they're impressive, and I would follow them anywhere.
Hmm.
So they're very smart,
Yeah.
they're caring, and big hearts, and they're going to make their mark,
Yeah.
and I hope a lot of people follow them, because like I will follow them anywhere, and they're my motivators, and yeah, I would just say my two daughters, Jenny and Jordan.
They take after their mom.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I think, Master Shay or Jen, she is pretty amazing. I think we're contemporary on age, kind of a little bit. She's a little younger than I am, but the way that she's able to, run the business, the way that she's able to interact with the kids, impart her motivation. I've seen her a couple times in school, doing the demonstration with the kids and whatnot when Veronica was at Worcester Arts and
Yeah.
whatnot. I think there's something there, powerful, and maybe something that they haven't tapped in yet. But they are pretty impressive, and I have to agree with you on
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
So once again, thank you so much for sharing your story. I cannot wait for Veronica to see this and hear this, and for everybody, all the moms at Taekwondo and here in the area to hear it. It means the world to me, and thank you for your vulnerability and being open.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I had a great time. It was fun. Lots of fun.
Awesome.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening. I hope that you found this episode inspiring and that one way or another you were able to identify with today's story. Remember, like Catherine Stockett said, you is kind, you is smart, you is important. Start believing in yourself and empower those around you, because you never know when suddenly someone can realize they have a choice in what they could believe and do in this world. If you don't follow us yet, please subscribe at our YouTube channel, which is under my name, Monica Duani. You can also follow us on Instagram at TranscendwithM. Or if you just want to chat with me one-on-one, make sure to just connect on LinkedIn and send me a message. It's Monica Duani, and I'm always here for you. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next week.